Okay, this is Cynthia Horner, and I am here with Miasha Coleman, who is the author and the filmmaker for Secret Society. And I'm so excited to be able to speak to you since I'm a writer as well. And this is a great opportunity for other burgeoning writers to find out how you actually got started with this project. So can you give us a little bit of information about the making of the film? And then I want to go back to talking to you as an author.
Okay, definitely. Yes, so I've always wanted to be a filmmaker. I remember in, I guess it was late high school years, I did a little scrapbook and I wrote that I wanted to be a filmmaker and an author. So it was something that I wanted to do for a long time. It's just that I didn't know the exact path I was going to end up taking to get to that point, and it just so happens I became an author first. But I think, like many authors, I've always wanted to see my books on the big screen. So from the time that Secret Society came out as a book, I've always had it in my mind that I wanted it to be a movie. And now, 15 years later, here we are. The movie is releasing April 2nd on Amazon. And it's just been, I have to really say that it's just been like God's plan for this film, because I have been trying to do this film for a few years now. And I just kept coming up against a lot of different hurdles and a lot of different issues with not being able to pull it off. And so when I decided this time around that I was going to just go for it all in, that's when all the doors started to open up for me. I was meeting the right people to come on board. I was able to get such a great team, a great crew, a great cast to put this project together. And it came out phenomenal, better than I could have imagined. But it just took that first step and believing in myself and believing that I could do it without any help. And then God just opened all the doors for me.
That is so wonderful. And it must be really a dream come true to have a person of the level of Vivica A. Fox as a cast member. I just love her work. I watch every film she's ever been in, and it just is such an amazing journey. And tell me, what has it been like being able to interact with all these different actors and actresses that have appeared in other projects, and now here they are in your project?
It's definitely a dream come true because this is my very first film. And I know a lot of times with first anything, you have to kind of prove yourself before you can get some other people who've been doing it longer than you to kind of jump on board. And so to have Vivica agree to play a part in this movie, that was an honor in itself. And then to see what she contributed to it. Once you guys see the film, you'll see she does a dynamic job with her character, and the role that she plays is so impactful. So to just have her grace the set, and she was very committed, very professional, very down to earth. And just like the other cast members, Trey Chaney, Jeremy Meeks, Erica Pinkett, they were all just so gracious. The story touched everybody in such a way that I feel like we all had the same common goal. We just wanted the best for this story. We wanted the best for this project. And everybody did that. They delivered it. And everybody was a joy to work with.
Oh, that is great to hear. Now, you are someone who has been writing since you were young. And according to your biographical materials, you had a poem that was submitted to a newspaper, and that was your first published work. And I found that interesting because you were so young at the time, just like I was very young when I started writing. I was the editor of my school newspaper when I was 11 years old, so I can definitely relate to how you feel about being able to have something published. But tell me a little bit more about the journey, about the path that it took from you being a young child to having something published, to actually having a book deal?
Yeah, so when I was younger, I was writing just as a hobby and as an escape. My story is as much like a lot of people who were born and raised in the 80s during the whole crack epidemic. And a lot of our parents got caught up in that world. So for me, I used writing to kind of escape my reality. I didn't know that it was something I wanted to do professionally until, like you said, I saw my name in print. When I saw that, I felt such a confidence in my writing, and I felt like this is what I wanted to do. So I went to college for communications, and I took every class that they offered that dealt with writing, whether it was magazine writing, advertising copywriting, novel writing. I just wanted to learn every aspect of writing that I could. And it was a coincidence that at my college graduation, the keynote speaker was an author, Karen E. Quinones Miller. And her telling her story about how she became an author, it really touched me because this was something I've been wanting to do since I was 9 years old. And so I felt like I needed to go ahead and pursue that dream. I needed to not look for a job, quote unquote, but I needed to go ahead and do what it was that I was really passionate about. So I left that graduation knowing that I was going to write my first novel, and I was going to find a way to get it published. And that was going to be how I lived my life as a published author. And that's what happened. And Karen Me Quinones Miller actually was very instrumental in me getting a deal because I emailed her letting her know that she inspired me. And I wrote my first book and I wanted to self publish like she did. And she advised me to try to get a deal first. And if that didn't pan out, then self publishing would be the route to go. I did exactly what she said. Terry Woods, who was huge in urban lit back then, she wanted to sign me to a 5 book deal and buy Secret Society outright. I went back to Karen Equinones Miller and I emailed her and I said, I did what you said. I saw the deal and I have this offer on the table, but I'm not really sure about the business side of the book industry. Could you just give me advice on if this is a good deal or not? And Karen graciously gave me her phone number. She told me to call her. She said that I needed an agent and she put me in touch with her agent who ended up having 3 major publishers in a bidding war over signing me, and Simon and Schuster was the highest bidder. So I published with them in 2006. Secret Society was released, and the rest is, as they say, history.
That is so phenomenal. And what I like about your story is another woman was instrumental in helping you along your journey. And a lot of times we always hear about women being in competition with each other, like in the music business. And here's a wonderful story about a female who gave another female the proper advice so that you could actually have the best possible situation for your first book. So
Absolutely. And I feel like that has definitely molded my decisions in being so helpful to other women who are coming up and just collaborating with women. Like with Secret Society, the movie, I made sure that I used female business owners to showcase their items, whether it was in fashion, female artists for the music. It was I was very intentional about this movie being female dominated in that sense. And I definitely attribute it to Karen's genuine support of me from day one.
I think that's wonderful too. I know that Regina King, who of course is a wonderful actress, filmmaker, director, etc., she made a point when she started her company to also make sure that there was a large percentage of women that had behind the scene roles. And it's important. I think it's very important. We have Right On Digital, and a lot of young women look up to various people in these different industries, and they need to be able to see that we can do it all. We
Absolutely.
don't yeah, we don't have to be relegated to any particular type of work. So that's great. Now, I want to ask you a couple of fashion questions because you have some beautiful press shots. So tell me about the kind of clothing that you like to wear, because I really like this gold outfit you have that I'm going to be showing on our site.
Okay. Being from West Philly, I think fashion has just been something that's been kind of embedded in me. West Philly, we always used to say is a fashion show. Like as soon as you walk out the door, you had to be on point from head to toe. And so I just kind of carried that with me. I've always been into, fashion and just style and doing different things and being unique. And, you know, um, that was another important aspect of the film for me too, is to make sure that the fashion spoke volumes. I wanted people to remember that just as much as they remember the story and the characters and the dialogue and stuff like that. So yeah, fashion is a huge part of my life. I have a fashion clothing business for kids called Rich Boys. So yeah, fashion is definitely ingrained in my everyday life.
And you're right about the fashion being able to speak volumes, because the moment I started watching the screener, the fashions just kind of stuck in my head. I was like, wow, these clothes are just really making a statement. And I think that when people watch the film, they're going to really go crazy over these different outfits that they
Thank
see.
thank you, thank you. Yeah, that was definitely one of my top goals for the movie, is that people walk away with that kind of reaction to the fashion.
Well, now that you've got this film under your belt, are you about to start on more, or do you want to wait? What is your game plan at this point?
I definitely got the filmmaking bug. I want to do more for sure. I have so many different books and ideas and scripts that I've been writing over the years. So I definitely know I want to do more movies and television shows. Of course, when people see Secret Society, the movie, they're going to be demanding that I do a part two. So, I mean, that's probably something that's going to definitely be in the works. But in the meantime, I have the trilogy of Secret Society already on Amazon. Never Enough is part two, Until Death is part three. So for people who are eager to see what's going to happen next, they can definitely read those two books in the meantime.
Okay. And I want to ask you, you have all these celebrities that have been following your career since your first book got published. Tell me what that's like.
Oh wow, it's surreal, to be honest with you. When I was growing up, Omar Tyree was somebody who I looked up to tremendously in the book game. Um, I would go to all his book signings that were in Philly, and I read every book that he came out with, and I was a huge fan. And then I remember when I got my publishing deal, he was one of the first authors to give me a blurb for the cover of my book, and that was like just huge to me. And all of the support that I've gotten from different people who are in the entertainment industry, people who have huge platforms, people who are celebrities. It's just it's just surreal because, as a young girl, growing up in West Philadelphia and going through the things that I went through, I just never would have seen that this would be my life right now, and me getting support from such big people. And so I'm just honored, I'm just blessed and thankful for the support, and I really feel grateful for my talent to bring me this far.
Okay, now my last question is going to be, how do you inspire people to never give up when you had a situation where it took you a long time to get your career going the way you wanted? Some people would have just said, oh, I'll just do something else. But you had something inside of you that caused you to want to stick with it and persevere. So, what is that?
Just when you have a dream, it nags at you. When it's your purpose, it stays in your head no matter what you go through, no matter what you do, what you end up doing in life. If you choose a different career path, or you have children and you put everything on hold, you'll notice that it still bugs you about this one thing that are called to do. And I just feel like with filmmaking as a whole, I was always called to do it, and I've always been like, it always been in the back of my mind to do it, to make it happen. And so over the years, as I had tried, and things didn't come the way that they were supposed to come, and I just felt like it wasn't a no for me. It just meant that there was another way. There was another time. So I just feel like with whatever it is that you really want, just stay committed to it, work at it, and when it's time, it will happen. You just have to trust that. Some people give up because they feel like it didn't happen when they thought it should happen. But just trust in God's timing, and it'll happen.
Okay, so my last question or comment is, please give us your social media handles that you'd like readers to follow you on.
Sure. You can follow me on Instagram at Miasha Official. That's Miasha Official. You can also follow the movie page, Secret Society Movie. And make sure y'all tune in to Amazon on April 2nd and watch Secret Society. I promise you, you are going to love this movie.
Okay, thank you very much for doing this interview with rightondigital.com. Have a great day.
Thank you for having me, and you as well.
Thank you.